Another episode of the Hansen Brothers podcast. And today we're going to run you through everything that's happened in the World Rallycross Championship so far this season. So we're 3 rounds in, and I'm currently third in the championship. Where are you, Kevin?
Don't want to know.
Don't want to know, right?
I think I'm fifth or sixth. I think
Yeah.
I'm fifth. But yeah, halfway point of the season, which means we're halfway there. All the points that have been scored so far can be scored again. So I think it's going to be a really, tough end to the season. So, but we need to highlight what's been going on so far, don't we?
Yeah, and the exciting thing is that of course we do like the deep dive every time we come home from the race, but when a few more races has passed, you get a bit more of an overview of like the storyline of the season. Like so we'll see some trends throughout the year. And the baseline for the 2025 World Rallycross Championship is obviously Battle of Technologies, and that first test we did in Losada, where we set the EOT, so the equivalence of technologies, like BOP, between electric and combustion cars. And that was a super interesting test, most of all because of the little comments that we've been getting from Andreas Backerud since, because he drove every single car on the grid on the same day, and he got to feel the differences in the cars, and he said a lot. And basically the FIA took all of his data and saw the trend of, first of all, how quick is the electric and the combustion, but on top of that they saw how much lap time do we lose the electric when we reduce power, and how much do the combustion lose when they increase the weight. So now the FIA has a table and a system to, equalize the two over the season.
We have never gone into a season driven that little. I didn't drive anything from end of November to the end of May, and that's just crazy that we haven't done that before. So in the end of the day, I think we really performed well and got out what we needed to from the test, and we felt really good in the car, and I think we had a good base for the first race in our own machine.
Yeah, and fast forwarding now into the race, we actually both won our first qualifying session of the year. So we were in the opposite races. You won yours, I won mine, and I think we felt pretty confident. I remember seeing your start, the very first start, because that's also obviously something you test, and you absolutely flew off the line, miles ahead of everyone. And I was like, oh my God, we've nailed everything with the launch. Like, I'm going to be so far ahead. I do my start and it's exactly the same as everyone else. Turns out that you made an accidental jump start where, when you release the handbrake, then the light turned green. So you didn't get a penalty.
It was just by pure, like, I was standing there, I was like, oh, it's such a long hold. And I've had it, like, I've realized I've thought the same since in other starts, but I was sitting there like, Christ, it's a long hold. And then by some reason I just released the handbrake. And I was like, what are you doing? And then
you just had that spider sense, like Spider-Man,
now
the tingling that the green will come.
I looked up and it was like, oh, it's green. It's not flashing red for each jump start. And I looked to right and left, and I was clear. So I think that's so far of the year is my highlight. It was such a fun race. Unfortunately, we had a bit of water in that race, so I didn't get a very good time. But in the end, you got a first quality. But just in Portugal overall, not to get into every race that we had there, I think that was my best, personally, my best race that I've had. I felt really good in the car. We just made small tweaks to the setup to try and follow the track development. From the test, it was a new track, new tarmac, so it was gripping up. We followed through. We had a good car managing the bumps. Like, it was a really good. Our car suited well there. We were able to extract all the performance. We were quickest. We were quicker than CE. And I just felt really good on the whole track. I could attack on the gravel. I was in the good at getting efficiency on the tarmac. And in the end of the day, I was super close to winning the race. And you as well. I mean, I was, for a while there, my delta in the final was, after, joking on the first lap, gaining over a second and a half to be within the window, and a half lap to go. I had had a win. And I think we should have a look back at the whole race there, shouldn't we?
Let's do it. Niklas was absolutely flawless throughout Portugal. He didn't win the first quali, but after that he took the start in the second quali. This is the start of the final. Gronholm being so good in the launches so far this year, gets another good launch, slots into P1. You
And
see
here
Johan
was
with the
tricky.
combustion engine car there, not getting the best of launches. And you and I, side by side, we decided to squeeze Johan, out. We got the inside, and we managed to get through in
and I
second and
really had
third.
to push him out there to make sure I got some space because he was just on the limit. So I had to really commit, and he dropped back 2 spots. And here we were second, third, and I decided first lap Joker don't follow was the call, and Johan follows me from fifth, which is a classic. This is a classic rallycross situation. From the first and second continue, fourth stays in the normal as well, third and fifth go Joker, and now it's chasing time.
Now it's chasing time, and if we skip ahead a little bit, we get to the end of the race. Here it's lap 4. So
here
basically we have been
just
driving
on the bumper of Clara.
Yeah, we've been driving flat out. You caught Clara; she haven't jokered yet, and your joker delta here is for the win. So if we took the joker now, then you would win the race. We get into lap 5. Let's skip ahead a little bit more because Niklas and I see that gap.
Yeah,
there it is.
And here I in the background you can see here everyone on YouTube. I just passed Clara and getting out that, and then I just brake tiny bit too late, and just get out a bit of a dirt, and there I probably lost 2-3 tenths as well. But at this point here I was just within just on the edge of the as you can see 2.8 seconds, which was getting out equal to Niklas from the Joker, but I was really strong in this part of the track here. So I would probably been to a situation where I got that out in front, but I caught now, you can just see it on the top of the screen, I caught
there you see
a rut, and I ended up on the inside.
Yeah. And I've been following Niklas throughout all this. So you had some clear air to chase. And when we put the new tires on my car for the semifinal, then my car really came alive, and I felt here I could follow Niklas, pretty easily on his bumper, but there was no gap because you were too close. So like strategy-wise for me, it was better to follow Niklas. And because of your mistake here, you dropped back quite a bit. And that put you and I into a bit of an argument.
Disaster.
So you were so angry.
Just 15 seconds earlier, I had the win, and then you ended up fourth. I mean, it's really. If you want to hear the full scope of that discussion, you can go to the debrief race podcast after Portugal. You can hear how we settled it down. But in the end of the day, you got a second there, and I got a fourth, and I was not happy, so I went home on the Sunday evening instead of staying.
Yeah, you were so pissed off. You didn't talk to me after the race, and then the first time we spoke was in the podcast. We record on Tuesdays, release on Thursdays.
A day later, yeah.
So that was a bit of tense podcast. But we ended up being friends after that. It's fun. It's all on air if you want to go back and watch it. But that was the first race of the championship, and at this point, we're very happy. We're, I think, performing above our expectations, having not really tested too much, but looking back, like looking big story now, it was a high grip track that really suits our car, and the next 2 races are much more slippery, and we really struggle in those wet slippery conditions.
I think the first track is very much a start stop, not too much mid corner section. If there was a longer mid corner that was on gravel, which we are actually really good at, when it's like really loose gravel, like we both drive very well on that, and we are able to be quick. But on when you get we will come to that now, Sweden and Hungary, longer corners, we suspect that we will struggle in Sweden, but it was probably a little bit more surprises to struggle in Hungary. In Sweden was a full wet race, and And the track is so amazing when it's dry. It's such high speed. It's so technical. It's quick. It's such a fun track. On wet, it kind of just becomes a mud bath with a bit of soap on the tarmac, and you can't really drive around anything. You just have to go super slowly and very cautious. You aquaplane a lot. You slide on the gravel, and this was the worst weather we've ever seen in Sweden. When we got to the final here, where I didn't think from my semi I would even get to the final because we were so slow. We had tried setup that we have never tried before in this car, just to see if we can take out anything in performance-wise, but we couldn't keep up with the Volvo, couldn't keep up with the major news here, the Christopherson changed to obviously the electric car for this race. We couldn't keep up with either of the teams, and we just tried everything. So to get through after I met three Volkswagens and a Hyundai ICE with Ritkonen in the semi, I was I was just happy to be on the start grid until you see the weather here, which is just incredible.
Yeah. So like the breaking news, as you said, was that KMS thought after Portugal that they need to switch back to electric because, in their opinion, the electric had gotten a better EOT than the combustion. And they might have been right because they came here to Sweden and really dominated. But they have a car with loads of grip and loads of direction change possibility, which really suits this track. Johan, he's always been so good around Höljes. Is one of his best tracks. Here we see him on pole for the final, and also on the grid you see how much it's raining here. So this is the final where the skies opened up. We're both in the final, and this race is something so unique that I've never seen it before.
It's even you can
Look,
see the amount of water on the
yeah,
start
look at
grid there,
those
and it's so
rivers.
dark.
Those
It's
rivers make us
so dark.
aquaplane.
Yeah, you can
And the funny
you
thing
see
here is
you
that we all
see the
stand
water
there
floating,
not knowing what to expect, but we know it's going to be carnage.
and it's just everyone aquaplanes, everyone.
You see the
I
movement of
was
all the
just
cars. No
I was
control,
just
except Johan.
pushing into. Here is a major one. You go from third into Joker, Ritken on the inside. Here you did a really good job getting your front end in and defending and keeping ahead of you.
Yeah.
Where me,
If I would have been
I was
past
close
there,
to
I would
pass
have
him,
been
but
last. Look at this
yeah.
aquaplaning.
And also, we have to mention here the legendary Cole is back in the commentary. Also, we had an episode with him quite early on. Go and check that out. He's an amazing character. It's almost time to get him back. That's a
Here you see
massive mistake.
everyone go off.
Almost
Gronon
takes
go
out
off.
Johan.
I saw it slippery, so I went slow in and I still went way wide.
Full carnage.
Yeah.
Full
I had a pretty
carnage.
good first lap here, like being within reach. We can't show full races, so I have to skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Got a little bit more, I think.
As Kevin Hansen on
Almost
board
passed him
trying to
there.
pass.
And then
You were
and
left
then
and
I
right, up and down. You were everywhere. But being at the back of the pack, you can really search for those lines that are not full, like standing water. So you had so much pace in this final, but you were kind of stuck.
Yeah, the pace was really good because I was able to really work around everything, find lines, but also like even nobody else in the race did it, and I passed Joa on the start straight, and I passed Patrick. He passed me back, then I passed him again, and here I get a good run on the start straight, and I just take a lot of risk aquaplaning into turn one, and I pass Joa on the outside of turn one.
That's a crazy pass around the outside in turn one.
You know,
probably
it
first
should
time
be
that's been
impossible.
done like that.
Yeah, and that was a great pass. And here we're following. Now we're back to back, you and me. We're following Patrick. He is not jokered. I'm really close to you. And here you do a really good section. Patrick struggling ahead. I'm out on the grass, and here I start to take different lines, and I
But
just
you
found
see
so
you
much
searching for the
performance.
lines, but I if I would open up, you would be straight in my door. So here we actually pass Patrick. Yeah, there you see it. He went a bit wide.
And here is funny because I go wide, open up the line, and get so much performance, but then you like were on the left and went slow, and Patrick could just push on the jump and get on my inside here, which was quite annoying. and I lost a lot of time.
Yeah, like this
Um,
final was so painful to drive, but it's so good to watch.
it's carnage everywhere.
Yeah,
Let's
and
not
then
mention that Johan is 15 seconds ahead of you, but
let's not mention that it's a bit sad. But he's flying in these conditions.
yeah, I think you can
Let's
skip ahead. Yeah,
skip ahead because we can't
here,
show the full
now,
races.
now,
Where is Kevin Hansen's 360? Where is Kevin Hansen's 360? Is it now?
yeah, here we go.
There we
Wait.
go.
I love
He lost
Andreas.
nothing.
I love Andreas's reaction. He gets so excited for that,
Yeah,
and it's just like
that was
pure
epic.
rallycross love, you know. Doesn't really happen much more in this race. Bring it home in third. I have an electric. Actually, here people might not know why I stopped in the final. It was so much aquaplane and so much water in the car. So actually, there was one plug or connector that got some water in it in the low voltage system and shut off the car. So that's why I had another red light in the final. Because I already had one red light in Q2, which I missed. That was a battery failure, and an isolation problem. So it could have been, transmitting electricity in the car. And in the final, it was a low voltage issue. So frustrating Sweden for both. But you scored another podium,
Yeah, I finally got another
second and a
podium.
third.
It was a frustrating weekend up until then because we didn't have enough pace to follow Johan and Niklas up front. We didn't have good starts. So without pace and without starts, the third is pretty good. Like
Yeah,
somehow
it's because we
somehow I got
fix
there.
we're good rallycross drivers. And if you say that to take an opportunity and make some magic with our knees, as we say in Sweden,
It's a
then
bit
it's
about doing the right things at the right time, but also getting lucky in the sense that the gaps do open up, but you also have to be ready for every gap. And like the
yeah,
defense I did with Juha there is in the Joker lap was the whole reason why I was able to defend that position in P3. But it's a bit of luck, it's a bit of doing the right thing at the right time. But another podium. But this race was, we're talking big picture again, a completely different story to what we had just seen in Portugal with that high grip start stop kind of circuit, and now being this kind of carnage without grip whatsoever.
yeah.
It's been a fascinating first two races, and KMS switching to electric. You can only make one switch a year, so like they can't switch back and forth when they choose. So now they will be with electric, and that's why going to Hungary, the previous race, they will stay with electric, and we saw KMS dominating again, and Johan getting another clean sweep, his second in a row, which might be the first time that's happened. I'm not sure,
Again, we
but
need Hal Ridge on the podcast to throw in the stats.
yeah,
That's the
and
first time. We said that in the last episode. I think we need him to throw in the stats here
yeah,
for us.
yeah. Another person to make a shout out for is Niklas. He won that first event, and behind Johan in Sweden, he was constantly second, just nailing those starts, nailing those races, and coming home in second. And Niklas had, again behind Johan, a brilliant run in Hungary as well, and he was able to stay P2. He had a bit of a downfall through the middle of the heat, but he came back. He was front row for the final. He won his semi-final, and it was only really because we exploited like a gap in what the stewards had been deciding, because we were exploiting that gap that really cost Niklas, which is not fair to him, as we discussed in the previous episode. But you know, as a racer, as a competitor, you have to play by the rules, but you don't set the rules. And in this instance, the stewards were very clear about if you push someone, you can't pass them. So, but doesn't matter who else gets in trouble because you push someone else. So It was Patrick who did this first in Q4 on us when we tried to team drive. He pushed me, which made you go wide, which made him come through. And the steward said no penalty. But we said,
Mm.
like, Patrick knew that he was pushing me to squeeze you out because you were outside. They said, no, that's fine. So going into the final, I had P5. Did I? Yeah,
Yeah, P5.
P5. And I I knew that, this Patrick move that he invented, if you call it the Patrick move now, is not a penalty according to the steward. So I went through the first corners. I pushed OC Veiby in the back. I didn't pass OC, which is the crucial detail here. But I knew that Niklas would go wide, so then I would be able to go through on Niklas. Let's watch that final.
It's the most boring final for me to watch because I'm not in it.
Yeah, you had your worst weekend in years. You wrote on social media
Yeah,
here, not being in the final here, things not
yeah.
really getting into position.
It looks the track looks really cool from that low shot there and the previous one. It is a cool
Yeah,
track, but just in a bit of nowhere, if we're honest.
yeah, but the layout is fantastic. So now, you know, from my point of view, then P5, you don't really have much, but you have one thing up your sleeve, and that's that you're on the inside. So Clara is a
Yeah,
bit too cautious here coming through. She drops back, and
for
here
sure.
you see me giving OC the shove. Then Rytkönen gives me another shove, which really puts Niklas far out in the gravel. And that's the gap. Like, this is not a penalty, even though in my mind I think it should be
Mm.
a penalty.
You're lucky you didn't push OC further because it's not far that he go in the wall ahead.
Yeah, but
But
that's
you have to like kind of commit to pushing hard.
yeah,
I don't, if you push too little, you don't succeed. So
it's
it's
a
really
fine
really
balance.
tricky. Yeah,
That
but I
push that
remember.
Juha gave me, the slow mo that our videographer got when he pushes my back and like it lifts his front and my rear all together, smashes my rear in. I love that shot. It's such a cool picture. It's like
Yeah, it's really
rallycross.
cool.
Yeah,
I
so
mean, nothing else happened. It's in this
it
final.
doesn't happen much in this final from the outside. We all keep our positions, but I push like a madman throughout this. You don't see it on the attitude of my car, but I'm taking full risk on going close to the dirty lines on the outside, close to the walls on the inside, sending it into the turns with more speed than I feel comfortable with. Um, yeah, I'm just giving it everything that I got, and
Yeah,
you see here, there's that 3-3 split. Some have jokered, some have not. But I end up coming home with the third place again, and yeah, 3 out of 3 podiums
yeah.
is
The
my best start.
only the only driver to have that, I think, now, because Johan doesn't have it, Gronholm doesn't have it, and OC doesn't have it. So, um, a good start
Yeah,
to the season like that. And now it's Finland left and Turkey, and then to be confirmed. We don't know yet where it's gonna be, which is very exciting to see where it's gonna go in November or so. Um, let's chuck in some predictions for the end of the year then. What do we think is gonna happen?
I think a bold prediction. I think that I want to say I think that Patrick O'Donovan will get his first win.
It's very
There's
bold,
there's gonna
very
be
bold statement.
there's gonna be a carnage race where Patrick is in his element. There is some kind of shoving. This is gonna be in Finland, and there's some kind of shoving. Patrick gets up the inside, defends on with the Joker lap later on in the race, and holds on for the win.
I mean, he has got already a third in the World Championship in Hong Kong when we were all in equal machinery, just from like good defense and putting in the lap when it was needed and getting that podium. So he's ticked off a podium. Then the next for him is a win. So and like I think, like you say, Finland is quite rough gravel. It can suit him. I think it suits the Peugeot. I mean, we three have pretty much the same chassis. It suits that car pretty well. And I think if there is a carnage race, it's gonna be there, and that's the track Patrick can really. But also, it would be great if Joa, for example, got a home win. That would be fantastic.
That would be
Um,
fantastic. You
I
also
mean,
already have his first world
win,
championship win last year in Turkey. He was flying.
dominating, yeah.
It's not such a bold prediction to predict that he will be good in Turkey again, but I think we can expect that.
I think I'm gonna chuck in um, I mean, obviously, I bet on myself at all times, but if I'm gonna chuck in a different prediction, I'm gonna say Niklas Grönholm becomes world champion.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's a bold prediction too.
I think, I think, I think he can make some tricks, and I think we will see Johan not um, getting it all the way. Or at least it's going to go down to the last race of the season, and then anything can happen, as we know. But I do think Niklas could have it this year. Obviously, I'm trying to myself, but that's not very bold prediction.
Well,
It's
I
not
think
very interesting.
Niklas has been the main challenger to Johan so far, and we already mentioned how strong and consistent he has been apart from that push in the second corner in Hungary, which he couldn't really do anything about. But he's put in a fantastic opening of the season, and if they get their starts right with where they're really strong, yeah, why not?
Hmm. Yeah, I agree, and I think we will. I think also we will see towards the end of the year a 12-car grid. That's just my prediction. I would like it
It's a
to,
bit
and
sad
I
that that's
hope
a
so.
bold prediction.
Yeah, but we're on 8, and people are still just entering race by race. So a bold prediction is that the last race, let's say the last race is somewhere far away, and it's not the race where, because obviously the European is going to Istanbul as well. And that's mostly a reason also why the world doesn't get too much entries, because we're so we're good, and the European is easier to win in. I think we will get, you know, people want to race in cool locations, so I think we will see a lot more people taking that, hopefully a flyaway event, and we will have a big grid. I think that's unfortunately
Hopefully.
a bold prediction statement, but one that I think could happen if we see that going that direction.
Yeah, there are loads of cars in the European Championship that are good enough to compete in the World Championship. It's just a shame that they don't take that step up, but also I fully understand it. I think this deserves its own episode talking about this issue. But yeah, that's the season so far, and that's some bold predictions for the second half of the season. Kevin Hansen's prediction is Kevin Hansen is gonna win every single race from now on.
Oh,
Oh, he believes in himself. Oh my god, he has confidence.
incredible!
Yeah. Which racing driver has ever thought they will win the next race? It's like
Yeah, no,
80%
true.
of everyone entering any race.
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think actually people think this so much about it. I think they're a bit more skeptical than you think.
Yeah, at least when you race with Johan Kristofferson, then it's very easy to get skeptical. He's
Except when it's in the same car in like extreme heat.
yeah, well, that's a different story. Except when you race against the Polo with Johan Kristofferson.
Yeah,
Let's mention the
exactly.
full
When you
combo.
race against let's throw in the polo there. Anyway, that's we're at the halfway point of the season. Make sure you like and subscribe this episode. Share it with your friends. Let's get obviously the Rallycross community strong and growing. The more you like, the more you share, the more engagement we get, and the more Rallycross content we can create for you, and the more Rallycross race we will have. So, cheers for tuning in. Nice to see you, brother, and we'll catch you all next week.
Like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.